Many thanks for staying with us. The Court of Appeal has granted an ex parte motion for stay of proceedings filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission against the contempt proceedings initiated by former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello against the EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede, presided over by Honorable Justice Joseph O.K. Oyewole. The Court of Appeal has given its nod to EFCC's application to serve the processes in the appeal through substituted means to the former governor. Consequently, the court has rescheduled the hearing of the motion on notice to May 20, 2024. The EFCC Chairman, who faced a summon to appear before the Kogi State High Court on May 13, 2024, to justify his actions and potentially face imprisonment for alleged disobedience of court orders, swiftly appealed the trial court's ruling and sought a stay of the proceedings. At this point, to discuss this, I am joined by the Executive Director, Sterling Center for Law, Deji Ajare. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Deji.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's start this way. Did the EFCC chair flout legal procedures or really put itself in contempt of courts in its conduct involving former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello?
Sorry, what was the question again?
So I actually want to establish if the EFCC, chaired by Ola Olukoyede, actually flouted legal procedures or probably put itself in contempt of court in its conduct involving the former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello.
Okay, well, in my opinion and based on information available to me, I do not think really that the EFCC has conducted itself in a contemptuous manner.
Okay.
My reasons are simple, and like I said, this is based on information available to me. Yes, indeed, there was an order of a Kogi State High Court prohibiting the EFCC from arresting the governor, but that order did not preclude the EFCC from filing charges against the former governor of Kogi State, nor did it preclude the EFCC from serving on the former governor the charges that have been filed in court. And to the best of my knowledge, I think all the EFCC tried to do with former Governor Yahaya Bello was to serve the charge on the governor, and an effort which were prevented by the governor and aided by the prevented by the former governor and aided by the current governor. So I do not
sorry to butt in here.
The EFCC can say,
Deji, I'm so sorry to butt in here. As at the time, EFCC operatives laid siege at Yahaya Bello's residence. Were they there at that time to serve him a court summon or to have him arrested? We need to establish that also.
The EFCC was clear. What they did at that time was, one, to serve him to serve the charges on him and to bring him to court to arraign him. At that time, I recall very well, it was on a Wednesday, and the hearing, the arraignment was for the next day, Thursday. So I really do not see how that really is contemptuous of that order of the courts of Kogi State.
Okay, so let's look at what the Kogi State High Court, how it played its own role here. Now, is it within the confines of law in this case for Justice Jamil of the Kogi State High Court to order the EFCC to stop taking certain actions against Yahaya Bello? Because this is a person who, based on evidence, has been accused of corruption and is no longer under immunity.
Well, you see, the thing about our justice system is that the court, they are the superior bodies in Nigeria in terms of law enforcement, and nobody can be said to have been indicted until they have been given an opportunity to either explain themselves, and then hearing is done, and then a decision is reached. So yes, as to whether a court has powers to summon the EFCC chairman, or in fact, anybody at all, including the president of Nigeria, yes, the court has the powers. But whether indeed the court will be right if it reached a decision that, yes, the EFCC or its chairman was in contempt of that court is a totally different thing. And I think the EFCC has taken the appropriate step by approaching a higher court to ask it to suspend whatever is happening in Kogi State. And without wanting to sound like I am indicting the judiciary generally, or in Kogi State or generally, I would want to say that there is enough reasons for anybody, including the EFCC, to be suspicious of whatever order is coming from Kogi State, considering the kind of hold that the governor, the former governor Yahaya Bello, has on the entire organs of government in the state. I mean, the judiciary, the legislature, and the entire executive structures. And so it is not, I mean, it will not be uncanny of anybody to be suspicious and to want to be protected. And I think the EFCC has done the appropriate thing by approaching a superior court, the Court of Appeal, to ask it to intervene in the matter and, I mean, decide whether indeed it has acted in contempt of that court. Okay. And in the meantime, an interim order has been made, asking the lower court to stop all proceedings in relation to the contempt charge against the EFCC chairman. I think that's just the appropriate thing to do.
Okay, so just as you have said now, we see that the EFCC chairman, of course, disagreed with the contempt charge and appealed to the Court of Appeal to put the contempt case on hold while the appeal is being heard. Now, the Court of Appeal will decide whether the EFCC chairman is guilty of contempt after considering the full case. According to law, you're an expert here. Which side do you think the pendulum will swing by the time all these cases are tabled in court?
What you're asking me to do is beyond my professional competence. I am not a judge. I am only a lawyer.
Of course.
I cannot speak specifically as to what will happen. But if you ask me that, I mean, really, genuinely, what's my opinion? What would I have as an outcome? I will tell you that, like I have told you at the beginning, I do not think that the EFCC has acted in contempt of the court in Kogi State. Now, for context, I am not holding brief for the EFCC. And I am not sitting down to say, oh, the EFCC is such a perfect organization or whatever it is. What I am saying here, at least in relation to the the investigations and arraignment of Governor Yahaya Bello, I do not see how it has acted wrongly. In fact, if anything at all, considering the fact that, I mean, for anybody who has been watching the EFCC over the years and, who has studied the antics of the EFCC, we would really give some kudos to the EFCC as it relates to this current case. They have acted very professionally, a deviation from the previous posturing on issues like this. We all remember when the EFCC was going to arrest former governor of Imo, going through the ceiling and all of that. I mean, we did not see that here. They could have also done that here. It could have turned bloody. I mean, we could have, a lot of things could have happened, but they did it. They acted very professionally. So I think we should give a thumbs up to the EFCC on its conduct as relates to the case involving former Governor Yahaya Bello.
Okay, Deji Ajare, Executive Director, Sterling Center for Law. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.